Hey friends, we're so glad you're here and have tuned into So What Makes You Come Alive podcast. We're your hosts, Gabe the Girl
and Michaela McGee, and we're here to explore what it would look like to take ownership of and change the narratives of our lives to live a life fully alive.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to our final episode of season 1. This is our actual final one. I know that we said that last week, but
sorry for the lie.
Here we are. I'm Michaela.
And I'm Gabe the Girl.
And we are so excited to dive into some more questions that we had from some of our previous guests this season. It was such a joy, honestly, to get to have all these conversations, but I'm really enjoying all these questions that they have for us. And I'm kind of like, should we change up our questions that we ask people? Because these are really good questions. But I actually also really love the questions that we ask people.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's getting us to think in different ways. So, it's just, it's stoking the things in our mind. And what kind of questions that we ask beyond the 4 main questions that we've been doing each episode. These are some really great questions, and just so you guys know, we haven't really spent much time sitting with these questions at all. These questions are questions that we're reading off of a document that we compiled together for these 2 episodes, and so we're gonna try to tackle 3 of them today. Our final 3 for season 1.
Final 3.
Thanks for being
here.
Final
countdown. Woo-wee! All right. Should we dive in?
Let's dive in.
We should definitely start.
Michaela, I'm asking you the first question because I think you asked me the first question last year. Wow. Last time.
What is time anyway?
2022. Although I say 2021 all the time. But I would really like to know, if you didn't have a single problem in life, what would you do?
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yeah, I definitely should have reread these questions before.
This is a question, I mean, not in these words per se, but this is a question that I have asked many of my coaching clients, and just friends, people in general that are kind of seeking and searching and making life plans, or kind of, have this open book before them. So, I mean, I'm sure you've been asked this question in the past too. Yeah.
Yes.
And
I feel like, well, that's the trick, right? I feel like I've been able to identify this in the past because it was well, I have these big glaring problems of a job that is not fulfilling, or living in a really tense situation, or far away from family and friends, or whatever it is. But I live my life completely by my design right now. And so it's do I have problems? I'm sure I do, but they're just not as prevalent. They're not as in my face. But what would I do if there were nothing really totally standing in my way? I would travel a lot more. Actually, that is the biggest problem, is that I don't have a private jet.
My biggest single problem in life right now is that I do not have a private jet.
I'm only half kidding. Right? We should just get a corporate jet for this podcast. How amazing would that be?
Oh my gosh.
But it's I want to travel. We travel quite a bit, but I would love to travel further distances, but I want to travel with my dogs. I love them so much, and I don't love the idea of leaving them behind. I have them because I want to have them in my life. And I know that this sounds like such a ridiculous problem to have, but it's okay, well, how could I travel more and also fully enjoy this life that I have with the dogs? Maybe I need to find the ultimate dog sitter, so that when I leave them behind, I'm they're actually having a really awesome time right now. And so am I.
Yeah.
All right. That was a really lighthearted answer. I'll go deeper on the next one.
That's great.
What about you, Gabe?
Oh gosh. I know the question's coming, but I'm also not ready for the question. I empathize with our former guests in this moment of, like when we ask them the
Mm.
questions, which they always, just so you know, if you're ever a guest on this podcast and we're talking with you,
Mhm.
we give you the questions in advance. Like,
Yes. Oh yeah. You
you
can
know,
ponder.
what's coming. You can ponder it, journal it out. I don't know,
Yeah.
talk with your significant other about it, tell your dog, or your cat. I'm sorry if you're a cat person, talk to your
Or
cat
your
about it.
fish.
Your fish, your ant farm. Like, I don't know. Um, but
Woo.
yeah. So, like, yeah, I empathize with
Mhm.
our guest,
Yes.
because like, man, yeah, how do I answer this question right now, in the season of life that I'm in? If I didn't have a single problem in life, what would I do? Golly, it's interesting to say that, like, and here I am just verbally processing this out loud, right? I think I would operate maybe with more boldness, um, less fear. But therein, like, you don't know what boldness is if you don't have the challenges that you have to overcome,
Mhm.
right? Am I thinking through this
Yeah.
correctly? It's like, how do we know what boldness is? Like, what is, yeah, what does it mean to be bold? What does it mean to, you know, operate with less fear,
Mm.
in our lives and in our choices? And, um, golly, if I didn't have a single problem in life, I'd probably also travel more. If I had, I mean, I don't think where I am financially is necessarily a problem, but man, if I had
Right.
a superfluous amount of funds,
Yeah.
then yeah, I would be definitely visiting people that I love and seeing, other places, in growing in my knowledge of different cultures and different people groups, and meeting really awesome people all around the world. But
Mhm.
gosh, yeah, I think reframing, it's always for me, I guess, about reframing those problems or challenges to be seen as something that is ultimately building my
Mm.
character, building me up. Eventually will build fruit, build fruit into my
Yeah.
life, will bear fruit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I
Totally.
think, yeah, I didn't have some of the challenges that I currently have in my life, I would feel a lot more confident in
Mm.
stepping out and making some bold choices.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
dreaming further. I think right now it's just
mm.
hard to be a dreamer. And here I am, like, as a like been through life coaching training. But I am in a season of like working through a lot of healing, and so that seems to be my challenge or my problem right now in life, is
Mm.
that I am working. If I'm being really honest, I'm working through healing, and if I didn't have that there, um, I would be dreaming more. That's what I would do. I would be dreaming
Mm.
more, and that comes with boldness. That comes with courage. That comes with,
Yeah. Yeah. It
yeah,
does. And
all
I
those
will
things.
also say that going through the healing process is courageous and
It
bold,
is. That is true.
like
That
pressing
is true. It is that
into
too.
the unknown and the uncomfortable.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
that's healing and dreaming. It's a
Yeah,
lot of things
totally.
that we're claiming for ourselves. Ooh, I really like your answer. That was really good.
Mm, thanks. Took me a minute to get
Yeah.
there as a verbal processor, but thanks for hanging in there,
It's the purpose of
guys.
the podcast, right? You get a little insight inside Gave the Girl's Mind.
Truly, I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
connect all the dots. There's so many parts. There's so many parts.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That was
Yes.
so good.
Mm,
All right. Can I ask you a question number two? Are you ready for
you got it.
back-to-back questions?
All right. Let's bring it.
What what is a common compliment that you get? I
Mm,
love this question.
that's so funny. That's so funny because it just like speaks truth into like what I just talked about.
Mm.
think a common compliment that I've gotten not only from friends, but also from family members, and people who have just witnessed some of the highlighted parts of my life in ways that I've invested my time and, giftings or talents, been where I've been making my investments. And the compliment, it's almost kind of hard to talk about the way that people have complimented you. I don't know.
Yes.
It
That's why I
just
think
probably
it's a
stems
great
from like,
question.
yeah, I think it's a great question. The thing that I've heard is, Gabe, you love people so well, and so deeply. Actually, a very dear friend of mine, my best friend, told me recently, she's like, it's almost intimidating. I was just like, oh, that's interesting, like
Oh,
just how you just go there with people, and have this capacity to go there with and for people.
yeah.
And I think that is one of the greatest compliments that I've ever been given in my life,
Mm.
is that of just, yeah, people witnessing my love for people, because that's all I desire to do. I actually had to reframe a thing that I used to say when people would ask me like, oh, like, just about my life, and I'd recount all the different things I did, and they're like, wow, you can do so many things. I was like, yeah, Jill of all trades, master of none. It actually is supposed to be like master of one.
Yeah.
And then I reframed that to be like, okay, like if my life speaks anything, and this is back, I think 2014, I was like, if my life speaks anything, I desire for my life to be like, okay, so yeah, I'm a Jill of all trades, but I want my mastery to be of one purpose, and that purpose being love.
Mm.
So
That's really good.
that's my answer.
Yeah. I mean, but like, can we just pause and just imagine if everybody approached life in that way? Like, we get to just kind of putz around and like learn all these different things and maybe get good at a bunch of different things, try
Yeah.
on whatever, but like ultimately we are masters of love,
Yeah.
like loving ourselves well, loving
Yeah.
others well,
Ooh.
being
Mm.
rooted in love.
Yeah.
Do you
Dude,
love
I
that
think
essence?
yeah.
Mm.
And I think one of the hardest things to learn is like loving yourself. For,
Mhm.
for sure, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
For
Yes.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a journey. I'm
Yeah.
not, and no, in no way am I perfect at it. But I'm thankful for the times in which I've received that compliment, because it reminds me that like I'm still on the journey, and I'm still
Mm.
on the path of growing in that. And yeah, it's like, where's the fruit? Kind of like where I
Yeah.
said earlier, it's like when people can point out through a compliment the
Mhm.
fruit of your life,
Yeah.
something that they see in you,
Yeah.
um then yeah,
Yeah.
it's a huge thing.
Yeah. I think that this is a fantastic question to actually just be asking anybody. Like,
Totally.
I guess I think about like first date questions or something like that. Like, what if this were a
Yeah.
normal first date question to ask instead of
Mm-hmm.
like, so what's your dating history? Like, were you married before?
Totally. Oh
What
my
if it
gosh, yeah.
were? What is a
Mm,
common compliment you get? You really
yeah.
actually get to know somebody that way. And
Yeah.
I just feel like it really sparks this like inward look of
Hmm.
self-love, of
Yeah,
appreciating what it is that we are naturally gifted at. Like
totally.
recognizing that within ourselves is really powerful.
Hmm. So what has been recognized in you by
Mm.
others, Michaela? What's a common compliment that you get?
Um, I feel like there are three that really come to mind that I constantly get. One is I'm a great listener.
Hmm.
Another is that I'm funny, and um,
Hmm.
probably maybe the most common one is how caring and nurturing I am. I get told all the time that I would make a great mother. While I do see that that might be true, I really love loving other people. Like Gabe, what you were saying,
Hmm.
it really lights me up to
Hmm.
see other people feel cared
Mhm.
for and loved and appreciated and valued and everything.
Mhm.
So it's this like, it's almost a ripple effect, you know? Like
Yeah.
we're pouring it out into this other being that can then like even reverberate it back onto me, that
Mhm.
appreciation.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
agree with all of those things that have been said about you. I just, I've known you for a while now. And
Yes.
and yeah, you're like you're feeling lit up. It's not like a prideful thing to feel lit up when
Mhm.
you see how, you know, your love for people is literally changing the atmosphere, is literally
Mhm.
helping people to step out in courage or
Mhm.
to, like be more gentle with themselves or like,
Mhm.
golly, I can't tell you how many numerous times you've done that for me in our friendship,
Mhm.
and that is an incredible thing. And yeah, no, I would agree with all those things. And yeah, you are an incredible listener. And I don't think this podcast would be the same without your listening skills. Let me just like build you up right now. I'll just like I just
That's
like agree with
amazing.
that. No, truly, 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 truly. But yeah, I would say, yeah, fruit of your life says, heck yeah, those are
Mhm.
all incredibly true things. And I love that. I love that people can recognize those things in my friend.
Mhm.
So
I
mm,
agree. I do think that recognizing compliments and actually complimenting each other,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, and then learning to receive the compliments, which is
mhm.
also hard.
That is that is
Yeah,
maybe the
especially
hardest part.
I truly, yeah. Well, because that is a whole step in the direction of loving yourself.
Yep.
Is
Yes.
literally, I mean, what? I mean, okay, I'm just gonna say this. It probably could be attributed to like somebody giving you a gift and you saying, "Oh, thanks," but I don't believe that this gift is for me, like a physical thing.
Yeah.
And then you give it back to the person,
Mhm.
and then the person it feels hurt because they're like, "No,
Yeah.
like, but I gave
Yeah.
this to you. This is yours. This is,
Mm.
and so like it's kind of offensive to like
Yeah.
tell the other person, "No, I believe that you are lying. I believe that you are not speaking truth right now."
Right?
But to receive openly and humbly and
Mm.
just,
Yeah.
I think it is a huge step in a
Mm.
beautiful direction that leads
Mhm.
to accepting what is true about ourselves when we've grown up in really hard households.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of,
Mm.
like things that the world is throwing out there that get swirled around in our brains of like
Yeah.
who we are and insecurities and,
Yeah.
so,
I I really like the way that you put that. That it's like imagine when somebody gives you a compliment that they're actually giving you a gift.
yeah,
Like, are you just gonna
physical gift.
deflect it? Are you gonna give it back to
Yeah.
them? Are you gonna say no, thank you? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that in the trash? Like,
Yeah.
no.
I
You're gonna
reject your
open it up.
kindness and your
Yes.
gift.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I am going to take that with me. I really like
Mm,
that because I
mm,
definitely have had trouble over the years receiving compliments. Feels
mm.
weird, but
Yeah.
if I can just picture it as an actual gift, like what would I do in that
Yeah.
moment? I would open
Yeah.
it up, give them a hug, say thank you. Like, why don't
Yeah.
I do that when I get a compliment?
Mm. Same girl, same.
Yeah, work in progress here.
There you go. On to
All
our
right.
final question of this final episode of season one. When this is a good one, this is gonna make me a little. When you procrastinate, what do you do instead? I think this question means like when you procrastinate, what are you doing instead of doing the thing that you need to be doing, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what we're getting out of this question.
Yes. I mean, definitely Netflix. Like, if I'm being honest, yeah, it is for sure. I mean, I'm procrastinating because it's something that I don't want to be doing. So then I just
Hmm.
find something else that I want to be doing.
Sure.
or it's like on my to-do list that I'm like, probably don't need to be doing this, but sure, why not? It's anything to avoid doing the thing that I just don't want to do.
Yeah, for sure. It's like,
Yeah.
when you needed, in college to finish a paper or
Mm.
work on a project, and then you're like, oh wait, that
Bathrooms
bathroom that I've
dirty.
been meaning to clean for the last 6 months.
Oh
Now is the
gosh.
time. Now is the moment.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, so I know that those are like silly things. I feel like probably everybody does that. But like
Mm-hmm.
if we were to take this to like a big picture level, like when you're procrastinating on pursuing like a dream of yours or
Yeah. Mm,
pursuing the healing work that needs to be done or
yeah.
whatever, expanding your life in some way or another, what
Yeah.
is it that we're doing instead?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ultimately just staying stuck in an old way of living, but like
Mm-hmm.
I think that we all know the answer to why, you know.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. Change is definitely uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
procrastinating, like doing the inevitable,
Mm-hmm.
we really fill in our time, like our days, months, years. What are you doing instead, Gabe? Besides cleaning the bathroom.
Yeah, that. I, yeah, I think for me over the years, it has been distraction for sure. I mean, exactly what you're saying. It's like I am literally just distracting myself with anything else. Um, so I mean, I feel like the struggle since since like college years has been like social media, just be like aimlessly, mindlessly scrolling. And I was even thinking about it last night. I was like, I closed the app and then I opened the app again. What am I searching for? What am I looking for that I'm like not finding right here? Like, well, of course,
Mm,
I know the answer to that question. I definitely know within
yeah,
myself. Like everybody knows the answer to that question. If you really take the moment to pause and be like, okay,
yeah.
like what do I really need right now? But sometimes doing the thing that you need to do, as you said, it's uncomfortable or it takes energy and time or
Mm,
writing a really hard email or,
yeah.
like, I don't know, getting up and, getting your day going, even though the previous day was one of the hardest you had faced yet in
Mm,
this season or this chapter of your life. Like, yeah, I mean, instead of doing the things that I need to do, it's avoiding and procrastinating. It's trying to make myself comfortable in the moment when all actuality, like the problem's not going away.
right.
The work will still be there. Um, you know, but I don't know if you've gotten to the point where you're like, okay, this is crunch time and now I'm just gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little procrastination can actually lead
Mhm.
to like
Mhm. Best
getting the
work.
job done,
Yes.
right?
I wrote all my best papers the morning of in college.
Yeah,
Yeah.
been there too. But
Uh-huh.
like the internal stress of it is
Yeah.
never worth it.
No.
Good grief. Like, yeah, I think of like, what am I giving my energy
Mm.
to?
Mhm.
And I feel like been a big question in recent years for people is like, what am I giving my time, my attention, and energy to?
Yeah.
And if it's not beneficial to me, my mental health, my emotional health, my
Right.
spiritual health, my physical health, then why am I doing it? Why am I
Right.
wasting sweet, precious moments of my life
Mhm.
doing that? And I mean, not to be hard on ourselves for those things, being like, okay,
Mhm.
you did, and now we have the opportunity to not.
Right.
So we make one step in the right direction, and we get to celebrate that step um,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
right direction.
Totally. Big fan of a celebration. I really
Hmm.
like this. I feel like this question is making me kind of then just think about like not necessarily what I'm doing instead, but why am I so comfortable? Like, I really love this question. What is keeping you so stuck in a life that is so, what is the question that said? Oh my gosh, it was really powerful when I heard it, but it was like basically what's keeping you stuck. So, so loyal to a life that's keeping you so stuck. And I feel like that's what procrastination really is. It's just staying relatively comfortable. Like, it's coming. The internal stress and anxiety is alerting you to the fact that like change is happening. It's inevitable. You're gonna have to deal with it at some point. So are you really just gonna like sit in the anxiety, because that's pretty uncomfortable, or are you gonna push yourself to grow and morph and change? Also uncomfortable, but then it gets to be like life just gets to be so much more fulfilling after we do the thing. These are like really top-notch questions. Makes me so excited for future conversations that are going to be had with so many guests. Oh my gosh. I'm already excited for season 2, but we'll break.
Yeah, we're going to take a little break here and return to you guys with a announcement date of when our second season will be airing. We've already got really awesome individuals lined up for future conversations that we hope will inspire you. We hope you've been inspired and encouraged, that you've had new ideas or inspiration, or you've been able to ask the hard questions that are leading you to growth in your own life, and taking a step towards living a life more alive, or figuring out what things make you feel alive. And yeah, we can't wait to hear from you all and how this first season has been really good for you. So feel free to send us a message, drop us a comment on one of our podcast episodes from this season. Write us and tell us what you want to hear more of, or anything. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. And we do still have some openings for season 2. If you are feeling compelled or just want to hop on this call, like it's just an awesome conversation that we're having. And you then get to, we will be sharing your story with the whole world. And it's pretty amazing what gets to happen in these conversations, you guys.
And even if it's not you, somebody that you're like, oh, this person would love to have this kind of conversation. If it's your grandma, we want to talk to your grandma. So let your grandma know about our podcast and tell her that she can find us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on Anchor.
Everywhere.
Where are we? We're everywhere. Amazon. Yeah. Amazon Music podcast.
That one. Yes.
That one.
We know all the things.
We're everywhere. So tell your grandma, tell your next door neighbor, tell the mailman, and
there we go.
Then we'll be set for season 2.
Perfect. Oh my gosh.
We love you guys.
Yes,
even if we don't know you by name. We're believing in beautiful things to come from these conversations with you guys and for you guys. We will be seeing you very soon. Feel free in the meantime to connect with us at thrivefullyalive@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And until next season, I'm Gib the Girl.
And I'm Michaela. We'll see you guys soon.
See you soon.
Totally freaked me out. I mean, all
right on. Dora, share a number 1.
I obviously was a cheerleader.
I think I was a cheerleader in elementary school, where we were like, open the barnyard, kick out the hay. We're the girls from the USA. Turn on the radio. What do you hear? Elvis Presley singing in your ear. Jamila. And then you'd spell something.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much.
That was my short-lived life as a after-school basketball team cheerleader.
I never did anything like this, and I'm loving it. every second of it. This is amazing. Ready? Hit it. Okay, that's all I got.
All right.
You're a way better cheerleader than I am. Okay.
Thanks for tuning in to So What Makes You Come Alive. We're so inspired by the conversations we get to have with everyday humans about what lights them up and how to love the story they're living. We hope that you feel just as inspired too.
Interested in getting in on the inspiration? Click the link in our Instagram bio @ThriveFullyAlive and select the option for The One About You, Be Our Guest. Remember to tune in each week for a new episode where we explore what it looks like to get back to living our best story, where we hope that your favorite story becomes your own.